Major League debut last year. He's at short. Zach Remillard plays second base for the White Sox. Sebi Zavala will catch. And Yoelqui Cespedes is in center field for the White Sox today.
And Ben Holmes going to the mound in AAA last year. Threw the ball fairly well, not great. Looking for a good spring this spring. And like most left-handers, you have some control issues. So he wants to show David Ross, who I don't believe is here today. I think he's with the ball club on the other side of town. But he wants to show the Cub brass that he can get the ball over the plate. And we'll take a look at the defense. And this is how the Cubs put them out there with Artis, Davis, and Hill in the outfield with Jordan, Made, Weber, and Ball in the infield. Ball has a lot of promise. P.J. Higgins has the plate.
The first one to Jose Rodriguez from Ben Holmes is inside, 1-0. A lot of expectations for this young man. Absolutely shot through the system last year. Got to Double-A, and you figure that might be where Jose Rodriguez starts the year. He floats one out to right. In comes Darius Hill and put away for out number one. More on Jose Rodriguez as we go. Andrew Vaughn bats second. White Sox fans were treated to his rookie debut last year. A lot put on him just a year ago. Had to learn a brand new position, came into the organization as a first baseman, and acquitted himself well in the outfield.
I don't doubt that it was a very productive year as far as learning how to play Major League Baseball. You had to adjust to a brand new position as well as swinging the bat against some of the greatest pitchers in the world. And Andrew Vaughn is one of those guys that has stardom written all over him. He's going to be a prolific hitter. He just has to see pitches. In football, they would call it getting reps. But here it's get your innings in, get your at-bats in, and see some pitches.
Slow offer there from Holmes outside taking. So now 1-1.
He probably showed what he could do against Aroldis Chapman, hitting a game-tying opposite field home run off the bench as a pinch hitter. Not a whole lot of people can say they've done that.
The 1-1, high fly ball into left. Back on it will go Artis. He's at the track, can't find it. Wall and into the berm, it's gone. Andrew Vaughn flashes that power we saw last year. First home run of the Cactus League for the White Sox belongs to Andrew Vaughn.
Well, there's your Cactus League leader in home runs, Andrew Vaughn. We told you he was a slugger, and that shows it certainly. It's a little under 380 feet to where it left the ballpark. And that ball got up in the wind, and the wind is very much a factor, but Andrew is strong enough to take it out any conditions. This is a high fastball. It's out over the plate. And Andrew's got a pretty good idea that he got a whole lot of that ball.
Got a good pitch to hit. First one to Sheets from Holmes is high, so he takes 1-0. White Sox lead it 1-0. Great to see Andrew Vaughn lean into one there. Sheets will bat from the left side, of course. Rolls one over, and this is foul down the first base line. 1-1.
Daryl Boston had the good sense to not get in front of that one. It was hit fairly hard, and you certainly don't want to get injured early in the spring.
I was walking the backfield with Darren Jackson, who's over on the radio side for the White Sox today, and saw Daryl Boston. He's got a beard growing in. Does Debo. Looks good, too.
It's a fine beard.
It is.
It's a classic beard.
It's very classy. Sheets looks good, too. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Check swing, though, and that'll be 1-2. Sheets transformed himself over the last 2 years. First baseman who also had to learn outfield. Kind of a similar story to Vaughn, though not necessarily the same draft pedigree. Sheets played really well last year. Liner out to right. A couple of steps in for Hill. And that's out number 2.
Well, I don't think Gavin is going to face too many left-handers, but it certainly never hurts to know you can get good at-bats against a left-handed pitcher. Most likely, when he does play, it's going to be in a platoon. You want to get another left-handed bat. This, once again, has kind of descended into a right-hand-dominated lineup, so you want to get as many left-hand bats as you can when you face those tougher right-hand pitchers.
Jake Berger's one of those righties with pop. We saw him debut last year. Take on an inside pitch from Cubs starter Ben Holmes. And the next one skips down out in front of the plate, 1-1. The next big thing for Jake Burger might not necessarily be offensive oriented, but defensive oriented. We've seen him in the offseason working at second base. Of course, he came up a third baseman. 2-0 pitch, taken high, 3-0.
Well, in spring training, you're going to get the 3-0 green light here, and if Jake gets one to his liking, he can put a charge into it. He can hit him a long way.
Here is that 3-0 pitch. He is swinging away. It's fouled off. Way high behind home plate, 3-1.
I like the fact that Tony La Russa allows his hitters the green light at 3-0. Might be the best pitch you're going to see in the entire at-bat, so he took a good, healthy cut at that, but just under it a touch.
Holmes sets, fires the 3-1. Another big cut from Jake. Not sure if he got a piece of that or if it just tipped out of the glove of P.J. Higgins. Counts at 3-2 regardless. White Sox lead at 1-0 on a homer from Andrew Vaughn into left field. See if Jake Burger can't put a charge into a 3-2 pitch. Sets and fires, reaching for one and rolls it foul down the third base side. Burger stays alive, but that's not the pitch he was looking to drive. We've seen it a lot from White Sox prospects, whether it's Vaughn or Sheets or even Jake learning a new position, reshaping your body and doing it is a great way to be more versatile for Tony La Russa and maybe get a little more big league time, or maybe even your first big league time in the case of Burger last year.
You feel bad for him because he's had so many physical impediments to his development. A couple of Achilles tendon problems led to surgeries and it's pushed him back a touch.
3-2 pitch is high, and he'll head down to first with a walk. 2 away, and let's take a look at last season. Of course, the White Sox with a 93-69 record with an AL Central title along the way. 13-game span over Cleveland. It wasn't close. The White Sox walked into the playoffs. First division title since 2008. Of course, that matchup against the Astros was a tough one. Losing 3-1. The first pitch to Dwight Smith Jr., who's in left today for the White Sox, is taken for a called strike. Burger takes his lead away from first. To see the numbers there for Dwight Smith Jr. to work with the Orioles and the Blue Jays. The 0-1 is taken just high, so 1-1 now.
I know his dad could really hit. Dwight Smith Sr., outstanding hitter, came up with the Cubs. Finished second in Rookie of the Year behind Jerome Walton when he won Rookie of the Year.
And one fouled off left side.
Dwight could really swing it.
Romy Gonzalez is on deck. He's one of the young White Sox that got into the mix late in the season. You see there the heritage for Dwight Smith Jr. Home sets. Here's the pitch. It's high. 2-2. With a rush for starting pitchers and relievers here in spring with just a handful of games due to the lockout is going to be what's going to be real to watch these guys get themselves into a better state of control. Here's a 2-2. And that missed away. And low, 3-2.
We'll probably see Ball playing behind Burger at first base. There's no reason to hold him close. He's going to be running anyway.
It's Bryce Ball over at first for the Cubs. Here's the return for Jock Peterson in a trade. Holmes misses inside on Smith, so that's a walk. Back-to-back free passes for the Cubs starter. And the White Sox have them at first and second. They lead 1-0 on a homer from Andrew Vaughn, and here comes Romy Gonzalez. Talk about guys skipping levels. That was Romy last year. Really debuted a lot of power for the first time in a while. Knew that last offseason where he wasn't invited to the alternate site was going to be a big one for him. Reshaped some swing and has really shown the White Sox what he's capable of. Big cut and a miss on the first offer from Holmes, and it's 0-1.
Either the infield or the outfield doing a whole lot of shifting. Pretty much straight away, maybe a touch of a bias toward right center.
Another swing and a high fly ball left side, foul territory. This will actually chase back behind home plate and out of play. Higgins gave it a look like he thought he might have some space for it. Now, Romey's a guy, too, who's handled a couple different positions. He's at short today for the White Sox. Can play third, can play second.
That's really the case of, if you're not going to be a star, you're going to be Nolan Arenado, you're going to play third base. But if you're not going to be a star, you better bring a lot of gloves to the ballpark. You better have some versatility. And that's what a lot of these younger players now are learning to do. They're not locked into one position because, let's say you're a shortstop. Tim Anderson has got that one pretty well locked down for the Sox.
Swing and a miss for Gonzalez. He goes down. 1, 2, 3. But a home run.